The laughter in that living room didn't sound right. It was too easy, too warm, too rehearsed. I stood by the wine table, half a glass in hand, watching my wife, Elena, move through her circle like a perfect illusion. The way she smiled, the way her hand lingered on shoulders, the way her eyes darted away the moment mine found hers. Something had shifted between us long before tonight. I just hadn't admitted it. Then came her voice, bright, charming, and false. "Everyone, this is Daniel. He's a friend." Friend. That single word felt like a glass cracking in my chest. Quiet, precise, irreversible. Her best friend, Mara, froze mid-laugh. The others just smiled politely, not noticing the fracture running through the air. I smiled too, a perfect counterfeit. And in that single breath, something inside me went cold. I didn't argue, didn't correct her, didn't even blink, because I realized something. When someone erases you in public, they've already done it in private. I raised my glass slightly. "To old friends," I said softly, and her hand trembled just enough for me to notice. The rest of the evening unfolded like a scene I'd already watched before. Laughter, music, shallow words, dripping with champagne. I watched her from the edges, detached but deliberate, cataloging every subtle betrayal. How her eyes softened when she looked at another man across the room. How her phone buzzed twice and she silenced it instantly. How she avoided meeting my gaze as if afraid it would burn through her facade. I knew that look, the look of someone who was already elsewhere. We'd been married 6 years, lived together like furniture, placed side by side, but collecting different kinds of dust. Lately, she'd grown distant, always working late, always tired. Her laughter became less spontaneous, her affection replaced by obligation. I used to tell myself, love fades. Now I understood, it doesn't fade, it moves. And tonight, watching her, I saw exactly where it had gone. That man she kept glancing at, Evan, her business partner. His eyes lingered too long, his grin too knowing. When he put his hand on her back, subtle, possessive, she didn't move it away. That's when I stopped feeling hurt and started thinking. Over the next few days, I did what I do best, observe, silently, precisely. Her phone habits changed. She smiled more when she texted. New perfume appeared on the dresser, something floral, expensive, not the kind I'd ever seen her wear. One night while she showered, I opened her laptop. Password protected. New one. That confirmed enough. I didn't rage. I didn't accuse. I planned. A week later, I found what I needed. A forgotten receipt tucked inside her purse, a hotel booking, 2 guests, a suite. The date matched one of her work trips. I felt something tighten in my chest, but it wasn't pain. It was calculation. She came home that night humming softly, kissed my cheek like nothing had changed. I smiled back, matching her rhythm. In silence, I crafted my response. No shouting, no begging, just exposure. It was the following Friday. Her friend Mara was hosting another party, an exclusive little circle of people who thrived on appearances. Elena spent hours getting ready, adjusting her hair, choosing a dress that wasn't for me. When we arrived, the same laughter filled the same air. Everything looked identical, except me. I wasn't the husband anymore. I was the observer, holding the final card. When I stepped inside, I caught sight of Evan, the same man from last week, standing at the far end of the room. Their eyes met before they saw me, and that half-second told the entire story. She turned to me, composed as always, and said lightly, "Everyone, this is Daniel, just a friend." The word fell again, but this time I was ready. I smiled, a quiet, calm smile that made her falter. Then I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you all knew." The room hushed slightly. "She's my ex," I said, tilting my glass toward her. Her face drained of color. Mara choked on her drink. The others exchanged confused looks. But it was Mara's reaction that froze everything. She didn't look surprised. She looked terrified, as if she knew something Alina didn't want revealed. Mara set her glass down, voice trembling. "Elena, you didn't tell him?" Elena turned pale. "Mara, don't!" But Mara wasn't looking at her anymore. She was looking at me. And in that single glance, everything lined up. Mara had known about the affair, maybe even helped hide it. But there was more. I took a slow step forward, my tone calm as winter. "Tell me what she didn't say." The silence was unbearable. Mara looked between us, guilt rippling across her face. Then she whispered, "Heaven's not her business partner. He's her boyfriend. Has been. For over a year." No one moved. Elena's eyes filled, not with remorse, but panic. She reached for me. "Daniel, please." I stepped back. One movement, controlled, final. I looked at Evan, who now stood frozen, glass half raised. "You can keep her," I said quietly. "I'm done pretending to be part of your performance." Then I turned to the others, the entire glittering crowd, watching like voyeurs at a slow-motion car crash. "You all wanted a story?" I said softly. "Now you have one." I left the party without another word. The night air felt clean for the first time in months. Behind me, I could hear voices. Hers, frantic, begging. Theirs, whispering. That none of it touched me anymore. There's a moment after a storm when everything feels still. Not peaceful, just emptied. That's where I stood. I didn't need to expose her publicly further. She'd already done it herself. All I did was hold up the mirror and make her look. When I reached my car, I poured the rest of my wine onto the pavement, watched it bleed into the cracks. Some things don't deserve to be swallowed. I opened the door, sat down, and let silence take the wheel. For the first time, I wasn't angry. I was free. And as the engine started, I whispered, "She called me her friend." A pause. Now, that's all she'll ever be.